little snafu, guys. We were supposed to be going live on our podcast channel, but we didn't realize we had to do some stuff and wait 24 hours. So we're going live on my channel and we'll just put it over there on our channel that's launching and we'll drop the link below. So, anyways, this is our launch for our Friends with Benefits podcast. It's not what you think. You want to explain that, Justin?
Yeah, well, it's about the benefits of having friends in business. We're a business, we're an entrepreneurship podcast. The, you know, we talk about business topics. We cover the challenges of starting your own business, being an entrepreneur, partnerships, the whole gambit. There's really not, if it has to do with business and life with, life balance and business, then there's really no topic off limits as far as
No, I don't laugh in, but
yeah, but yeah,
I don't know
so
what's wrong with me.
I don't
Something made me laugh.
either. Um, well, I'm glad you're laughing. That's better than you being upset.
Uh,
Uh,
I think it's nerves. I don't know why.
maybe.
So,
Um, but yeah, this is kind of our first go at it. So just so everybody knows, this is our first episode. This is episode number one. We've actually done more than one episode. Original first episode got kind of screwed up. So we're redoing it in the form of a live and recording it. So that's what this is. Um, we talk about, just to kind of let you guys know, I mean, we talked about for the other episodes that we've done. I mean, we cover how to find the right partner. We talk about some of the challenges that we've been facing in starting our business. We've been talking about taking responsibility, right? Owning owning your mistakes and learning from it. And all of those things. So we talked about a lot of things so far, but I think for this first episode, um, you know, talking about our partnership maybe a little bit, but how we met and how this all started to begin with. So I guess I'll start, Pansy, if you want to start.
go
Uh,
ahead. You're already starting.
no, okay. So I have been in cybersecurity for like 10 years now, and IT and cybersecurity. And I decided it was, I don't even know, probably like 15 years ago at one point, but I decided, you know, um, I need to learn more about how to manage my own money and how to make more money and how to invest and all of these things. So I got really geeky on investing and learned about the stock market, learned how to trade and some of those things. And inevitably I found my way to real estate because I don't know what it is, but everything seems to lead back to real estate in one form or another. And found Pace Morby. So I was fortunate that I found Pace before I went and dropped a whole bunch of money on other mentorships that wouldn't have helped me. So I got into Sub 2, got into Gator, and have been kind of going ever since. I have done a couple deals and I've been starting working on building my business basically. And then Pansy and I met through a friend of ours, I think originally through JJ, if I'm remembering correctly. But our friend JJ has his own networking group, networking mentorship, and we met there originally. And then we kind of went our separate ways for a little while, and then fate brought us back together for whatever reason, right? So, and now we decided to become business partners, and we're focused on buying real estate. That's like our thing. So, um, however that happens, however that manifests, we have our goals, we know what direction we want to go, and we've got plenty of resources to help us get there. Um, and this is true for anyone, as long as you don't give up, and you learn from your mistakes and keep pushing forward, I don't think there's any way you can't be successful. So that's my story. What about you, Pansy?
Oh, mine's probably a lot longer.
Well, yeah, we're both dealing with just like everyone, we're both dealing with our own problems, our own
Uh,
financial, personal, you name it, right? Because
yeah.
whenever,
Mine, I'll keep it short and kind of sweet, but I found real estate because I was on a health journey. And so I was working on my physical, mental health. And then, I realized, well, for a long time, I've been wanting to work on my financial health, you know. Um, it's a little difficult when you have someone you're working with that doesn't want to work on their finances, but I don't have that issue anymore, so whatever. But, so I need to work on all of it. And um, along the way, because I ended up joining a supplement company, and they had a Zoom with Tony and Dean, and Pace was on there. And I thought he was like this young skater guy, but he said a lot of good things, cool things about community and helping others and a bunch of other stuff and creative. And I've always been kind of a creative person. If I really wanted something to get done, like there's always a way, right? So I'm like, oh, I really like what this guy is saying. And I started following him and learning that it was about real estate mostly. And I liked it and liked the community. And yeah, like you said, found you, I think, in JJ's group at first. I don't know. We were in a few different things. I know we were kind of community. And I know I had popped in your Zooms at one time or another to check in and see how you were doing, because that's what I like to do is pop in on people's Zooms and see where they might still need help or if maybe it's useful for someone else, right? So
She's being modest, she's very, very good at building relationships and networking, but it's because she actually gives an S about people. So
I do. I care. I really do. So, but yeah, so then I had another partnership. It didn't work out and was on the hunt. And I think Justin had reached out to me to bring me back to our friend JJ's Zooms. And yeah, so we've been kind of hanging out since.
yeah. Yeah, and you know what? I'll put a link. Excuse me. We're gonna upload this to our new channel, our Friends with Benefits podcast channel. I'll put the link to JJ's group in there as well, below the Zoom or below the YouTube. But you guys should go check that out. I don't do a lot of plugging for a lot of things, but JJ's networking group is, if you guys are in real estate, business, investing, whatever you want, this is an amazing place to go meet some very like-minded, business-minded people. So go check it out. Definitely. I'll put the link in the description. So
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. He's a great person. Lots of good people in that group.
yeah, go subscribe and do the thing.
Do the thing.
So,
So is there anything else we want to cover? Or are we good? I mean, that was very short. So
oh, that's too short.
yeah, I'm sure we could cover some
That.
more.
Oh yeah. So in our uh episodes that we've already done, like I kind of talked about or alluded to, but we talk about a bunch of different topics. But one of the ones that we seem to keep coming back to is partnerships and what it means to be in a partnership, how to find the right partner, right questions to ask partners. So we do touch on that a number of times. So go check out our other episodes and listen to some of the stuff that we talk about. But Pansy and I, we we came back together. It was kind of, it wasn't at first, it wasn't intentional, but then it became intentional. And we've been working together and we've been seeing how we work together. So it wasn't just like, hey, Pansy, let's go start an LLC and put ourselves on the operating agreement and be partners. It's like, no, we got to know each other first and we got to see how we work together first, right? And I think we know that we work well together at this point. We know kind of each other's quirks at least a little, more than we did. And we've been through some BS already together, which is good. It's just um, you don't want to just jump into a partnership. That's probably the number one thing. And I know Pace talks about this. A lot of people talk about this, but
Yeah.
it
I mean,
really,
I made that mistake,
yeah.
already
So
once.
have I. So have I. I have two partners at this point, and both of my partners, Pansy included, I'm happy with. And they're both good people, and they're both driven, and they both know where they really want to get to. And the rest of it is me working on me, right? Um,
Well, we're all working on ourselves,
yeah.
which
Well,
definitely helps each other in the long run, you know.
yeah. I guess I would say maybe I should rephrase that. My half of it is me working on me at this point, right? And helping to build the business, right? One of the exercises that Pansy and I have gone through, which is a really good exercise, is writing down your goals, your vision, figuring out all of the key tasks. Like when we say goals, not your big goal, and then your like 30, 60, 90-day goal, right? And then figuring out what are the main things that are going to move the needle. What are the key tasks? I think it was like what, three tasks? Find three tasks that are going to move the needle forward. What are those three main tasks? And then write down everything else that needs to be done. So you essentially you start with just a list of tasks that need to get done that will ideally move the needle forward. And then you got to pick the three top ones. And then all the other ones you figure out how to delegate that, right? So
Yeah. And our friend Jesse Stanton of the Growth
yeah.
Code is one that has been helping us with that.
Oh, good call. I'll put his link in the chat
Yeah, for sure.
description as well. Huge, right? Because Jesse's found, I don't want to say it's a cheat code, but it kind of is a cheat code, right? Um, and his Growth Co mentorship program um, is really worthwhile to go check out.
I
Um,
mean, he gives a lot for free, which
oh
is
yeah,
phenomenal.
yeah,
I haven't personally taken his Growth Co coaching, but it's very similar to what he gives for free
yeah,
with more.
right,
So I can imagine the insight is even better, you know.
yeah. Well, I'm sure the inside, you get into the nuts and bolts, right? That's always kind of how it is. You give the really high level, carrot, right? And then when you get into the program, that's when you get but Jesse as an individual, he's not holding anything back. He's not trying to hide anything. He's not trying to gatekeep information. You talk to Jesse or you participate in his even his free stuff. He will answer your questions. They will answer your questions. They're not trying to, they know not everybody can afford, thousands of dollars to join a mentorship, but um, they're not going to hide information from you. So go participate. The big thing is participation, and that's something I need to participate a little bit more in Jesse's group as well. But I just can't seem to find the time, Pansy.
Justin, yeah, you really do have a very, I don't know what's the word I want to say. Your schedule is,
Schedule,
yeah,
overscheduled schedule. Yeah,
you
that's
know,
you could talk about that all day.
yeah. I mean, and we're slowly giving you some of your time back, right?
Yeah,
And it's gonna take time. It doesn't happen overnight. You weren't really working for getting your time back before.
yeah. No,
You
what
would
I was doing was saying yes to everything.
exactly until I came along. And then I'm like, we're putting the stuff.
Well, and I will say this, I will say this. I was getting to the point, even before you had come along, I was getting to the point where I was either going to hit a wall and then nobody could get a hold of me, or I was going to have to start pulling back. Like it was one of those two things was going to happen. So, but what Pansy helped me do, it always changes things when you have a third party, when you have another person looking in, going, "What the hell are you doing?" Right? Like it's
Well,
one
you
thing.
need a friend, right?
Yeah.
The benefits of having a friend, not just like a business associate or acquaintance or whatever. We had built a friendship, right? And so when I popped in on you, I knew kind of what was going on.
Mhm.
So I, of course, I'm going to offer to help,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like,
And
so,
you know me, like I want to help people, right? And I do that to my own detriment sometimes, a lot of times. Well, to the detriment of my own time and energy, right? But I want to help people. I want to see people succeed. I want to see us succeed, right? And so I end up saying yes to a lot of things that I should really look at first and be like, you know what? I can't do that for you right now, but here's someone that can possibly help you, right? Or
yeah,
whatever. But I
yes,
can't, you can't do it's the whole put your oxygen mask on first before you put someone else's on. But it helps when you have a friend look in and sort of make it more real, if that makes sense. Because you can understand, like, yeah, I know I'm doing too much, but when somebody else that's a friend looks in and says, you're doing way too much, all of a sudden now it's like they just confirmed in your mind maybe what you probably already knew was true, but it makes it more real, for lack of a better word. Um,
yeah.
so
Well, we need friends like that.
mhm,
Like, true friends should be honest with each other, right?
yeah,
You know, but it's not just about pointing out someone's like what they're doing wrong or whatever, right?
right.
It's also about helping them see what they're doing right and their strengths
That's
and
right.
use those instead of fighting and doing all of those things that aren't really
Yeah, that's
in
right.
your lane, I guess.
That's right. And you know, helping people, you got to be really careful because helping people can also be an excuse to procrastinate. Just like anything else, you can use that as an excuse to not do the things that you know you need to do to get your business going, to whatever. The stuff you know you need to be doing that you're avoiding, you can use helping people as an excuse to procrastinate, right?
True.
My big thing with procrastination, if we want to talk about procrastination, is busy work. That's a big one, man. Oh man. Busy work feels so good because it feels like you're doing something,
Yeah.
but you're actually not doing anything for your business, for yourself. Um, so you really have to be careful with that. That's why it's so important to come up. Everybody talks about have your goals, find your goals, know your vision, blah, blah. The reason that's so important to have that vision and clear in your mind is because then you can reverse engineer it. You can say, what do I need to do right now? Forget the three things. What's the one thing that I need to do right now to move the needle forward? And in business, it's not all about making money, but it's about making money. So your main focus should be, how am I going to get my first dollar into the business? And if it's not something to help you get that first dollar, to make that first dollar, then it's probably busy work, you know? And I had to learn that the hard way. Somebody had to slap me around a little bit and make that clear. Like, why are you worried about your taxes right now? Why are you putting so much energy and effort into your taxes right now? You haven't even made money yet. Like you need now taxes are important. I'm not saying you shouldn't do them.
You mean like whether or not you're structuring stuff
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right.
Exactly.
You don't have much to work with yet, but you're worried about the mechanics
Worried
of,
about protecting assets. And like you
yeah,
haven't even made any money yet, dude.
yeah.
Why are you even watching this stuff? Why are you even learning it? Like there's nothing wrong with learning it, but like why are you spending so much time with this?
Well, that's where I started before I knew about real estate. It's, the health thing, and then I was learning about the financial side, right? Like all of this,
Yeah.
how to keep more of my money instead of living paycheck to paycheck, stuff like that. So I can see where people find that to be important, but you're right. If you really don't have anything to worry about yet, that could be something learned as you need it.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
So,
And you, so, and I know we're covering a whole bunch of different things. I know we're kind of jumping between different things, but back to like partnerships and talking about our partnership and what we've been able to do. Like one of the things we did besides the goals and choosing a vision and all of that and finding the tasks that we need to focus on was figuring out what were the things that we were both good at. How do we complement each other, right? I could tell right away because I knew Pansy for a while, and that's what it's important to get to know someone first before you partner with them. Um, but I knew that Pansy, I knew what her real strengths were, and I desperately needed that in my business, right? Um, and it's not just that, like her strengths are one thing, but she's also very detail oriented as well. So that helps when you know, when we're doing certain things, right? Doing certain tasks. But um so we looked at each other and said, okay, like what are we good at? What do we want to do? Right? What do we actually want to do? What gives us energy when we do it? And let's take those roles and let's stay in our lanes, right?
yeah,
So,
absolutely.
I know like in business, it's not always that simple just to stay in your lane. You kind of have to wear all the hats in the beginning, especially. Um, but you should be focused on what you enjoy, what gives you energy, what are you good at, what do you actually want to do, and have that be in the back of your mind. Like what, even though you're wearing all the hats right now, what all this stuff, the extra stuff you're doing can be delegated. Let's get to the main thing that you actually want to do and delegate the rest of that out, right? So that was something else that we came up with that we've done as partners and have been trying to, have been figuring out, not trying to figure out, but figuring out. So
Yeah. It's not just about business, you
no,
know, but like you're building each other, you're building yourself, you're building your business, you're building each other up, the team up, all of it together.
yeah, yeah, you're right. That's an important point. It's not just about business. And in fact, what makes Pansy such a great networking or networker and connector, again, it's because she gives a shit about people and she does things like, oh, how are you doing? Like just reaches out to people and says, how are you doing?
Yeah.
Like you'd be surprised how many people do not do that. That simple thing. Like, hey, how are you doing? Or
It
happy
doesn't take
birthday.
much. It doesn't take much, you know.
Mhm.
And I don't do it as often, I guess, or for everyone that I probably should, you know. But like certain people, we just have that relationship, and it's not always like, how are you doing? Sometimes it's just a reel that cheers somebody up, or, it was a funny reel or something important. You're just letting people know that, hey, you're still on my mind sometimes. Like, and then sometimes they'll be like, hey, I was just thinking about you, and they'll reach out to you,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah,
But you
yeah,
do want to keep in touch with people, build those relationships, and know a little bit about them, what their business is, and maybe a little bit of their personal life too,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So
Really, and it makes an impact and it's so not common that you stand out because of it. And And it's not even just, it's not about standing out, right? Necessarily. It's about, again, actually giving a shit about someone and taking the time to reach out and see how they're actually doing because you actually care about how they're doing. And that's how relationships are built. For those of you who don't know, you actually you actually have to there's reciprocate the back and forth, the caring about how someone's doing. Um, for some people, it's all about business. For
Yeah,
some
and that's
people, that's
okay
all it is.
too. I have
Yeah,
some of those relationships too,
yeah.
where it's very business kind of, not too much chit chat, which is okay, you know.
And if you ask one of them, they'll say to you, "Okay, you're a great networker. How much money have you made?" Right? And so that's their gauge for how good of a networker you are, right? And how good of a connector you are. And while that is one metric you can look at, it's not. And by the way, it takes time to make money. It takes time to make your first dollar. You know what I
No,
mean?
it's not just, well, I know in the beginning somewhere you said something about making that first dollar, but it
Well,
really, like, if you are trying to, or if you're building a business, not even trying, if when you're building a business,
mhm,
networking is an important part. You
mhm.
don't always get paid up front for it. You
That's right.
build those relationships, and then when the opportunity arises, then people will want to do business with you, you know.
Yeah.
So, like, it depends on where you're coming in. You could come in and make money right away in another area of the business, right? But I chose a different path. I wanted to build the business. I didn't want to just come in for fast money and get burnt out.
Mhm.
I'd rather build the business, something that's going to be regular income coming in that I'm not constantly running on that hamster wheel for, you know? So,
Right.
and one
Yeah,
way to
that's a
do
big one.
that is partnering up with people that know a little more than yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, and when you're networking, it's like, if you're always the smartest one in the room, you're probably I don't want to say doing something wrong, but you shouldn't always be the smartest person in the room. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Um,
If you can help it, yeah, get in those
yeah,
rooms with those people that have, done more.
yeah,
More.
yeah. It's the people that have done more that are where you're trying to get to that are going to give you the best education, in my opinion. Some of the best education. The best educator is failure, but and making mistakes, but really a second a strong second is talking to the people that are where you want to get to and getting advice and learning from them. So um Pansy and I have, you know, we've pivoted, right? We're our business right now is like we've given ourselves a time frame. We know where we're trying to get to. We know what needs to be done. And so we're just putting our heads down and doing those things. And guess what? A lot of it is boring as F, right? A lot of it is boring.
It's not that bad, Justin,
A
because we
lot of
get
it
to
is
hang out together and do it, right?
yeah. So a lot of the busy task stuff is boring. Doing my accounting is boring. Doing workflows so that we can build out standard operating procedures. That shit is nobody likes doing that stuff, usually.
There's people that do like to do.
Some people like it, but most
We are looking for those people.
yeah.
We're looking for a person like that.
I I like systems. I like integration. I also like training. And I
Yes, you do,
also
and you're
like,
doing that well.
well, I appreciate that. I need to get better, but I appreciate that. But training systems, I hate cold calling,
No,
right?
we're
Oh,
talk
I
about the things we like.
strongly dislike. I strongly
Let's
dislike.
just go to the things we like to do that
Gotcha.
we're good at. Let's talk about our quality. Why
Mm,
did I choose you as a business partner?
mm, mm.
No, I'm just kidding. I know I am.
Well, I mean, yeah, focus on what you like doing and what you're good at, and try, not try, but delegate off the rest, right? And if you can, right? If you can,
When you can, not if, when
when,
you can. Like, yeah,
yeah.
it's going to be a must as you
So
grow.
I
And
wanted to read the, oh, sorry, Pansy, go ahead. I didn't mean
no,
to.
go ahead as you go.
So this was something you actually sent to me, and I just wanted to read this. And this was from, oh, what was it? It was from James.
James,
Yeah, James Z.
James Eager,
Yeah, yeah,
he's also one of our,
yeah.
investor friend mentors.
And
Um, he's got his own channel thing going on too.
he
So
does, and
we'll
he's
have to get his stuff dropped too.
we'll have to interview him.
Oh yeah, we have a lot of people that we need to interview.
Yes, we do.
If anybody's interested in coming on and doing an interview with us, yeah, send us a message. Send me a message.
Yeah, because I probably want to see
Because Justin doesn't check his socials.
it. Not as much as I should, that's for sure.
Only when I tell him to go check his socials.
Yeah.
Because I sent him something.
So true.
But that's
Well,
okay. We know this about each other, and that's why I handle the socials and you do not.
right.
Uh,
Um,
so what do you, oh, you read this? Yes, this
well,
is
I
good.
really want to read this because I think it's really poignant, and I think it says a lot of things about starting a business
Yes,
that are really important. And so I'm just going to read this. So, and this is James talking, okay? I did on my first real estate deal, 1 full year, 40 hours a week at 15K check. Came out to about 27 cents an hour. And he was proud of it. He's like, I was proud of it. Because in my head, it wasn't about the money. It was proof that I could do this. I was in the game now. But looking back, that wasn't a breakthrough. That was burnout with a bow on top of it. I started solo, grinding, guessing, getting close, but never closing. Every night I told myself I was almost there, but almost doesn't pay the bills or the price of self-worth. So I built teams twice, and both collapsed under the weight of misalignment. No systems, no direction, no leadership, no shared drive. Just good people chasing money with no map. So I did what most burned out entrepreneurs do. I went back to what I knew, doing it all myself. Sound familiar? Closed 15K, and then I walked away. I told myself it was a pivot, something better, a more structured role in someone else's business, a fresh start. And at first, it felt that way until the same cracks followed me there, right? No communication, no accountability, no leadership, no alignment. It was real estate all over again, just in a different costume. And eventually I had to face it. The problem wasn't the business model, the problem was the system. There was no system. The partners, the people, the processes, all chaos, no clarity. I was bitter at myself. I called it a pivot, but it felt like quitting. So when I came back to real estate, I came back different. I didn't chase money, I chased alignment. I chased partners based on who they are or who they were, not what they could produce. Values over vanity, clarity over chaos, collaboration over ego. Each of us had firepower. Each of us had focus. Each of us knew what we brought and what we didn't. We didn't just build a business, we became a system, a unit in sync. And for the first time, everything worked, not because we moved faster, because we moved together. The old version of me, he wasn't broken. He just believed a lie. That success comes from grinding harder, from doing more, from being the hero. But real success, it comes from alignment, from clarity, from knowing exactly who you are so you can attract the people who complete the mission. Now I know. You don't build a scalable business by doing it all. You build it by refusing to do it alone. because no one worth partnering with is coming to save you until you know what the hell you bring to the table. If that hit close to home, let's talk. So, and I'll put him. So far we've got JJ, Jesse, and James Ziegler. Put all their links in the description if you guys don't know who they are.
I
So,
like that. I think that had a little bit to do with it too, like us coming together is like I kind of knew my role already, like the connector role and networking and stuff. And I had a team, but obviously the team and the partnership didn't work out. But I didn't at first know all of that, right? But then I did, and then I found the wrong partnership. But I was just like, w when we came back together, I wasn't looking for anything at that point. I was like, I'm just gonna take a second, regroup, and again, like James said, like align, and that's when you came along and other people. So he's
well, and that's what we're starting to see now in our business is we're starting to get we've been serious, but we're starting to get focused. We're starting to get to the place where, look, we know where everybody fits
for the most part.
for
I
the
mean,
most
we
part.
we know mostly where we fit, and then I think we're finding those pieces in the other people. Yeah.
And it's starting to come together. I think we've got the right people, and now it's time to really just it's really time to do the work and keep after it, right? Um, so yeah, that's why that really stuck out to me because like when you start to actually chase clarity and chase alignment with people, they're
You're not
real
even chasing, you're just attracting.
yeah, that's probably a better way to say it.
You're putting out a certain energy, whatever you want to say, call it, and the right people will be attracted to you. Kind of like that, if you build it, they will come, kind of thing. That's
yeah,
the way I look at it.
if you build it, they will come. If
Yeah.
you attract it, they will come. How about that?
Well, when you attract it,
Anyway,
yes. When you attract it. Not if, when.
so um
So it should be when you build it, they will come, not if you.
and you build it, they will come. Okay, fine. We'll leave it at that. I think that's a good place to stop, but you know, that's what this is going to be. Uh, that's what at least Pansy and I envision it to be. The podcast is we're going to be talking about a lot of these topics, but with people way further ahead than us, and people that have been there and done that and have that wisdom to share. And obviously, we're not trying to hide anything either. We're not trying to gatekeep information either. So I want to see people succeed as well. So
Exactly.
yeah. All right, guys. Well, we'll end it there. But if hit us up in the comments, hit us up on, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram. I'll put all of our
Yeah,
information.
we'll have a link.
Yeah, we'll have our information.
Yeah. Let us know if you want to come on the podcast,
Mhm.
right?
That's right. Yeah, let us know. Please do.
And you can make more friends.
Mhm. All right, guys. Well, we're gonna sign out. Appreciate all of you. You know, stay good.